Okay. Yes, sir. We are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a special edition of Off the Record. This evening, we have a very special guest with us here, Brother Abdul Rabb Muhammad. Brother Abdul Rabb, assalamu alaikum, sir.
William Islam, Brother Joshua.
Yes, sir. I want to thank everyone for watching the People's Podcast. I'm excited about this interview because there's so much history that you have and that you always share with us. Brother Rob, when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
I first heard the teachings in 1966. I was 15 years old, and I was going through the Weequahic Park in Newark. And at that time, we were going there to rob people. And I heard a man say, "The white man is the devil." I said, "Man, I got to hear what this man got to say." And right after that, he said, "And the black man is God." I said, "That nigga buck wild crazy."
Yes, sir.
I said, "I can't believe that, man." So I went on. I said, "Nix that." So I told the brother I was with, I said, "Man, I'm going to prove this guy wrong." So I went to try to dig up all the information I could find on the Honorable Muhammad to prove that that man was telling a lie. The more I dug, the more I found out he told the truth. And that's when I got interested in the teachings of the Honorable Muhammad. And that man was Brother Minister James Shabazz. They called him the Son of Thunder in Newark. Oscar 25.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. This is 1966. What was the climate like in 1966 as far as being there? Was it like a wokeness or a consciousness at the time, or was everybody? What was the climate like?
Not really so much. The climate was they were trying to degrade black people so bad that everything that was black was bad. Nobody that I grew up with wanted to be black. You know, that was when he was blackballed and blacklisted, and the good guy wore white, the bad guy wore black, and the good guy had the white horse on, and the bad guy had the black horse on, and Tarzan was jumping down in people's villages. And this little white boy going to come down in the village of thousands of black people and do some old holler stuff, and everybody got running. Nobody wanted to be affiliated with being black. Black was a cuss word. Call people black in my era, that was a fighting word, you know. You could call me nigga, but if you call me black nigga, it's on. We would fight, hurt you, you know, for that. Till James Brown came out with "Say Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud." That made us change a little bit of stuff there.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And walaikum salam, Sister Miriam, and peace, Sister Naima. Brother Rob, why did you accept the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
As I was studying, because back in those days, there was a lot of lessons out of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but you can find things like the study of trauma and the study of yin and yang, and the 4 histories, science histories of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad put out about, told us about the life on planets. I mean, there was so much stuff out there at that time that if you look for it, you can find it. And I started shooting dope in 1968. And as I was shooting dope in 68, and that went up to 1974. And I wanted to stop shooting dope. And everybody was telling me to go to this program and that program and stuff like that. And Donnie Hathaway had just came back from this Kentucky program that was supposed to be real good. But somehow I got a tape of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And on that tape, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad I thought he was speaking to me specifically, but on the tape, I heard him say, "If you want to stop shooting dope, just stop." That was the most profound statement I've ever heard in my life. Everybody was telling your program, this man was saying, "Just stop." So I said, well, my sister asked me to come to D.C. So I moved to D.C. with my sister, and she was supposed to have all this room, and I could stretch out there. She has a little efficiency on 100, 12th and down Northwest. I mean, it was so tiny, and people was everywhere. So I did what John Muhammad told me. I went in her bathroom, and I stayed there 4 days, 4 nights. And I kicked the habit. I went cold turkey, like he said. When I came out the bathroom, I was a different man. I promised to push the program of Yamballah Muhammad till the day I died. He made a different man out of me just for that tape.
Now, doing this, how easy was it to get drugs at that time?
How easy was it? I get a drink of water. I get a drink of water. At the time, like my hometown is 39 miles from New York City. And we was in New York City more than some of the people in New York City was in New York City. So my favorite spot was 116th and Lenox. That was a shooting gallery. But if you crossed the street, there was the fish place that the Nation of Islam had, where everybody on our side of the street was told, don't go across the street and mess with them brothers. They should go over there and get a fish sandwich and come on back. We had a shooting gallery on one corner and the mosque was across the street on the other corner. Down the street.
Yes, sir. And okay. Yes, sir. And after you came out in 1974, Salam, Sister Tracy, after you came out in 1974 and you become a new person, did you recite then, or what was the process after that?
No, sir, because in 74, I was still in D.C. and I was still studying the Islam I could find, but I wasn't ready to really make that commitment to come into the Nation. So I beat around D.C. to 81. I moved back to New Jersey. When I moved back to New Jersey, I had made up my mind that I then wanted to come into the Nation of Islam, but in 81, I couldn't find no mosque. And the only teachers I could find of the Nation of Islam in 81, 82 was the 5% Nation. So I joined the 5% Nation of Islam.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I never knew that. Yes, sir. Okay, then when did you accept the teachings under the Most High Mr. Farrakhan?
As I was, there's a brother named Michael Muhammad. He was, when I came back from D.C. to New Jersey, I knew Michael from the day he was born. And now he's a grown man, because I was gone for about 8-9 years. So as I come back from him, I run into him, and he asked me if I would help him drive to California, because he had got this job he had to do. So I agreed with him. In the meantime, I was still in the street doing my thing, and I got arrested for a dangerous weapon. I did 90 days. In New Jersey, if you get less than a year, you do the entire 90 days. So I did my 90 days. And as I got out of the 90 days, I'm playing with somebody and I broke a window. They gave me another 90 days. This is true. I get out of there from doing that. I get into a fight with a dude and I put him in the hospital and they give me another 90 days. So after I did that last 90 days, I got out. Michael came up to me and asked me if I remember wanting to go to California with him. I said, let's go. The very next day we drove to California. And as we was going to California, I had this big book that the 5% gave me. And I was beating him up all the way with Islam the best I could. And he had told me if I just shut up with that Islam stuff, that he promised to go to a mosque with me. I agreed. So when we got to LA in 85, because it was right after we had seen Mr. Farrakhan at the Madison Square Garden. Right after Madison Square Garden, we came back here. We came back. And I wanted to come in there and I couldn't find no mosque in Long Beach where we was at. And his girlfriend later became his wife, Sister Teresa. She had went to LA and saw a mosque on Stockton and Crenshaw. This was 85. And I took the first bus. I ain't never been to LA in my life. And I went to the mosque. And I met two brothers there. I'm still friends. Well, I'm friends with one of them. One of the brothers returned to Allah. Brother Harold, that used to be the assistant minister here from New Orleans.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He was the first person I met in LA. That was on a Tuesday. I told him I came to join. He said, you can't join like that, brother. He said, you got to come to a meeting and stand up. I asked him when the next meeting was. He said Wednesday. That's the next day. I saw him on Tuesday. So I came back that Wednesday. I stood up. That was in '85.
Praise be to Allah. And in 1985 in Los Angeles, who was the laboring staff at that time?
Brother Collard and Brother Mallard just got relieved of their posts. And at that time, Brother Minister Jabril was coming back and forth from Phoenix to LA teaching. And Brother Wazir just stood back up. And Brother Wali had taken over the commandment of the men. I didn't know what his post was at the time. And as things came out, Mr. Farrakhan then made Brother Minister Wazir the minister and made Brother Captain Wali the captain.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And what was the training like during that time period?
Say that again, sir.
What was the training like during that time period?
To me, the best I've ever had anywhere in the nation. I mean, it was very strategic. It was, I mean, they taught you everything that you need to know about being an FOI. There was a brother that was over the FOI class, 2 in particular, a brother named Nuri, who was in the first, and a brother named Eugene. And they were very thorough in teaching us who Niam Bilal Muhammad was, who Master Ford Muhammad was, who Mr. Farrakhan was. And then they further went into, after that, they told us who we were. I think that's one of the things we're missing today, that we don't know who we really are. You know, they taught us that we was the beginning of the New World Order. They taught us that we was the ones that's going to usher in the New World Order. We were taught that we were the vanguard of the New World Order. And that's how we conducted ourselves. We was the vanguard. We was the best.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. What was it like when you first meeting the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan?
The first time I met the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, believe it or not, was at Salam West Restaurant, because the minister at that time was not as secure as he is now. He would sit in the restaurant and he would eat. And I met him. He was eating with Chief Lone Walker and Tanetta Lone Wolf. That's what he was having dinner with at the restaurant, and I was serving them. And as there was this little walkway to go to the bathroom, to come back to the dining room area, or to go to the kitchen area where I was coming out of. And at one time, he was coming from the bathroom, I was coming out of the kitchen area, and I walked into him. So I asked him, I said, Brother Mr. Farrakhan, I said, you know, Dad gave me this the 5% book, and everybody will tell me I should throw it away. Of course, it ain't no good, or something like that. And he told me, no. He said, don't throw it away. He said, be very careful who you see it, because there's a lot of truth in that book, but there's also a lot of stuff that somebody else put in there that wasn't the Honorable Muhammad's teaching. Because Clarence 13X had wrote the lessons that was in there, but also the entire lessons of the Nation of Islam was in that book. So he told me to be very careful. You could actually sit down and talk to the minister. It wasn't like now. To get to see the minister now, boy, please. But then you could talk to him.
Okay, praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And then most people who may have not known you personally have seen Boyz N the Hood and saw you in that movie selling the bean pie. How did that come about?
I sold bean pies on the corner of Vernon and Crenshaw for about 8 years. And I didn't know at the time, but John Simmons was one of my bean pie customers. And he would come up and buy pies about every day. My bean pie customers, that's the only thing I really miss about Los Angeles. Natalie Cole and Little Richard and Stevie Wonder and Marla Gibbs and the guy that played Grady, Curtis Blow. They were like my everyday customers. And he came up one day and told me he wanted me to be in his movie. I didn't believe him, because everybody, if you ever be in LA long enough, everybody in Los Angeles is in the movies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. I asked him how many bean pies he wants. So he kept saying he wanted me to be in this movie. I said, well, if you want me to be in your movie, come get me and I'll go do this little part. So one day I was selling my pies on the corner. This big movie truck came up. He put my cart. I had a table, my pies and stuff. He put them all on the truck and took me over to King of Buckingham and told me he wanted me to do that little part. I was only there for maybe about a half hour, but the little part I did took about 5 seconds. And I shot that little part. Then he took me back to the studio and he had me put the words to it. I put about maybe 15 words or something to that. And he gave me $800 for doing that. I thought that was a good day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
$800, and I sold 40 bean pies. I averaged 40 bean pies a day.
Okay. Yes, sir. Now, when you said Natalie Cole and you said Little Richard.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. When they would buy the bean pie, did you ever ask them questions, or they would just buy the bean pie and keep it moving?
No, they buy it. I mean, they would come up about every day. So it's like I had sold a bean pie to Natalie Cole, and the brother said, "Did you get an autograph?" I said, "What?" And the brother asked me why I didn't get an autograph. I said, "She'll be back tomorrow."
Okay. Now, when you say you got a bean pie, so the bean pie to Stevie Wonder, could you explain? Was he in the back? Like, how did that work with him coming to buy bean pie? Could you explain that?
He drove up with a gentleman, drove him up there, and he gets out the car and he walks over to me with the gentleman, and he bought a bean pie. And the first time he did it, he gave me a 20. And I ain't want to, I Stevie Wonder, I ain't want to rip Stevie off, So I explained to him, you gave me a 20. And he said to me, "You don't think I know what my money is?" He was giving me a tip, really. He knew what the pie cost. At that time, the pie cost $5. So he was giving me a $15 tip. He was just buying the pie. Then after that, he would come up and buy a pie every time he was in the city around. See, he lived in LA. He had a radio station in Los Angeles at that time.
That's really cool, Rob. That's really cool. Yes, sir. Okay. What was it like? I saw a video of Tupac on YouTube, and you were in the back doing security. What was it like being around Tupac Shakur?
Well, it was a good day. Before we went out on stage, me, him, and his mother sat there for 3 hours and had a good conversation. He had told me that he wanted to revolutionize the hip hop business. He wanted to. He said he was making 25 cents on every CD, and the CD was going for something like $16. He said he wanted to give the Jew the 25 cents. He keep the $15.75 for himself. He wanted to start his own distribution and reproduction. And I told him that that's a dangerous thing, messing with them Jews' money. And we sat there for 3 hours till we came out. And he came out to speak, and I held post on him. Brother James, Big James Aziz was the minister at that time. And Brother Khaled was visiting. If you see that, Brother Khaled's in the audience also. They were visiting. I just held post on him, and then when we did that, we walked him to the car, and he went on. But the conversation was very good. He's a very intelligent brother. And his mother's intelligent. He's very intelligent.
Okay, excellent. I want to say that this podcast is brought to you by my sister Miriam's book, ABC I Love Me. Get it on Amazon. Also, my brother Politically Oppressed and his video production company, him and Brother Jamal, Street Premiere. If you need some video production, reach out to them. And my second book, which is a children's book, Cleopatra, it is on Amazon. Let me know if you want your business sponsored. Sister Rhonda from Chicago sponsored, is a sponsor of this podcast. Also, Torchlight Academy in Newark, New Jersey, or Orange, New Jersey. Boom. Thank you, Sister Alnisa. Boom. All right, back to you, Brother Rob.
Yes,
Were there other celebrities that you've done security for as well during your tenure in the nation?
I did Chance the Rapper and the theater in Atlanta. I did Prince when he was here. It's the last place Prince did. Did Prince. I did the Hip Hop Awards, BET Hip Hop Awards.
Yes, sir.
I did Soul Train Awards. What else I do while I was here? Oh, did Steve Harvey Family Feud? Like that. And that's about it. Mostly. When I was in LA, I did a lot of the jazz people like Max Roach and people like that, old jazz singers and stuff that Brother Sabir had hooked up some security for us that was very profitable.
Yes, sir. And speaking of Brother Sabir, how was that like learning and training with him in LA? How was that like?
Brother Sabir to me is a very special person. He was one of the few first people I met when I came in the mosque, when I got registered. Because like I told you, I saw Brother Harold. I came in and I was ready to recite that day because being in the 5% Nation, I knew my actual facts and student enrollment on top of my head. I could probably do that right now with blindfolds on, So I was ready to come in and recite right then, but they told me about the letter, which was hard for me. So everybody see my penmanship. I have terrible penmanship. Yeah, so Brother Sabir took me under his wing, and he liked me for some reason. And Stockton Crenshaw had this basement where we would go down in the basement, and he would work out with us. I mean, Brother Sabir worked out with us for 85 to 92 for free. He paid no money for his classes, none. He taught everything about self, how to throw a hand. I never was afraid of fighting, but I didn't know how to fight. And he taught me precision. He taught me how to use my hands. He said I should control these weapons, which we just do stuff. You in the street, you fight, and you just throwing stuff. Don't even matter.
Yes, sir. But did you ever have? Okay, I'll wait.
I'm just trying to get my broken. Yes, sir. Say it again, sir.
Are you talking to me?
Sir.
Yes, sir. Did you ever? Did you have to? Well, all that training in LA. Did you ever have to physically fight?
Damn, almost every day. We fought the police. We fought the Crips and Bloods. We fought anybody that was fighting at one time. We fought anybody while he told us to fight. Anybody. And at one time, me and Brother Sabir came to the conclusion that we're going to find out why we fighting some of these people.
Now, when you fought the police, what was the circumstance under that?
That was when we had the FOI house on Cimarron in Venice, and Brother Malik was in charge of the house.
Okay.
Sister Kabas's father.
Okay.
And we worked out every day. Every day. We worked out every day. And that's when we had black uniforms on. That when Brother Collard came in with that Brother the Black Man, he didn't start that. Brother Malik did in Los Angeles. And we had these black uniforms on, and we would do our security and stuff, and we would do what we had to do. And one day, the police came to the house and wanted to see what we was doing in the backyard. We were working out. The Brother Sabir or Brother Terrence wanted to come over and we would work out in the backyard. So Brother Malik asked him if he had a search warrant. He said no. So when the police officer started to go back in the backyard, Brother Malik stopped. He said, you can't go back there, but you ain't got no search warrant. Without search warrant, you can't come on our property. So they went back and forth for a little while, and then they called back up, and this she-beast came up that was a lieutenant and started speaking to Brother Malik, and they diffused it, and the police left and went. Then about 2-3 days later, Brother Collard was having a lecture at UCLA. And as we finished the lecture, we was coming back. And there, Brother Malik and Brother Collard put us in ranks of 2. And then we come back, there's about maybe 18, 19 of us. We coming back in rank, almost like drilling, but we was coming down the street. And a young sister was being pulled over by the police. And Brother Collard told us to halt. We halt. He told us left face. Everybody made a left face and stood there, looked at the police handling the sister to make sure the sister was all right. So as we protruded on down the street, Brother Collard, Brother Malik got in the car and said that they're gonna leave, and they put me and Brother Reuben, who's the rapper Cam's brother. was in charge of the men. We said, yes, sir. So as we got to the cars, all our cars were surrounded by the police. So they had told the brothers to stay in the car. And me and Brother Ruben told the brothers to get out the car. Everybody out the car. So as we all got out the car, we started talking back and forth, and we asked us what we was doing, so we could go home. They said, y'all saw what we did. We was in security. So we backed off. That was too. So about 3 weeks later, matter of fact, it was January 3rd, 1990. As we was leaving out our house to go to a brother named Shelton Alphonse's place to work out, there was a policeman on the corner, and I told Brother Mallon, there's a policeman on the corner right there. I told him it make no sense for us. So he said, don't worry about it. So as we got on the 10 freeway, there was no cars on the 10 freeway. And if anybody knew anything about the 10 freeway, it's a highway that stretches from Santa Monica, California to Miami, Florida. There's always cars on the 10 freeway, always. There was no cars this day. She said, this don't seem right. I said, man, this seems funny. There was four cars we had that was going to go work out. As we got on Crenshaw Boulevard, there was no cars on Crenshaw Boulevard. I said, well, man, this ain't something ain't right here. Because there ain't no cars on Crenshaw. You ain't never going to see no cars on Crenshaw Boulevard. So as we was going down Crenshaw, approaching the corner I worked on, Vernon and Crenshaw, one cop car made a U-turn on Jefferson, and he drove to each car. He put a flashlight in it, in the car. Every one. And so as they did that, the car in the back turned off. And that left us three. And as we was going down closer, the cop tried to pull us over on Martin Luther King and Crenshaw, and it was too dark. And Malik said, no, go up on Robert's Corner. That was Vernon Crenshaw. I sold my pies, which was the AM PM gas station. So we all pulled up in there. As we pull up in the gas station, the police officer tells Malik that the tags are bad in his car, something like that. So Malik gets out and tells him it's not his car, blah, blah. And as he's talking to the police officer wants to arrest Brother Malik. There was a white police officer and a black police officer. So the white police officer pulls a gun on Brother Malik. And Brother Malik looked at the black police officer and said, you gonna let this cracker shoot me? The brother dropped his head. He was embarrassed. So the white cop blew a whistle, one of them whistles they carry. And as he did that, 33 cop cars came out of nowhere. There was 2 police officers in each car. And so Brother Malik put us in a circle. That was the rapper Cam out of Compton.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That was his first day, his very first day. And as we made a circle, there were 2 juniors with us. And they were howling all kind of things. Let the juniors go. It ain't got nothing to do with them. This is men on men. They was howling stuff like that. And all of a sudden, they said, arrest this man. And they shot these long things at Brother Malik. And Malik snatched them out so they could really touch his skin. And then they charged us. And but before they did that, they were howling all kinds of stuff. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I was kind of nervous, you know. A lot of police, and they number 12 of us. I mean, 10 men, 2 juniors, about 66 police. So it was kind of typical. As we stood there and ain't say nothing, because we were trained that the only person that spoke, we were on any type of maneuver, was a person in charge. So nobody said nothing. And as we stood there and they say nothing, and they was howling all kinds of stuff with us, I watched them start to get finicky and nervous. And I looked at Cam and I said, man, we great walk up out of here. You know? And as they charged us, we fought them and we all got arrested. We put 22 police officers in the hospital. Put 22 in the hospital. That was a good day. The next thing was we had all got arrested. We were under $6,000 bail apiece. They let the 2 juniors go with their parents. So there was 10 of us that was locked up. And believe it or not, we were all out of jail. I say 7, 8 hours. 7, 8 hours. They had a big meeting at the mosque. All the Muslims in the city got together and bailed us out. They came down with cash. $60,000 cash. 60,000 cash money. Bailed us out. Every one of us.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Now, because of the time period of Boyz N the Hood or the Menace Society and the gang culture, you saying did you ever have to fight gangs or no?
Yeah, there was a concert that they were having on Western in the park where Ice-T and Ice Cube and Cam the Rapper was going to start the rapping. But before they started rapping, they broke out a fight. And Brother Sabir put us in a V formation. And Robert Sevenex was a sealer in the middle. And our job was to go through the crowd and throw whoever was in our way into the center of the V. And Robert Sevenex's job was to leave them there. We might have walked about maybe 100 feet, 200 feet. But as we was going in, you could look behind. All you saw was people sprawled out. Robert Sevenex was doing his job. He was doing it. Got to give him that. And the cop looked at us and said, "Damn, you ever seen a fight broke up like that?" Damn, cuz, you see that? We stopped fight. We broke the fight up. We fought gang members all the time, bro. Brother Sabir was a hospital sheriff at the hospital, Martin Luther King Hospital Mercy Room, and he would call me and Sharif, Brother Abdul Sharif from Los Angeles, call us down to stand with him, because you know a Crip gets shot. And they want to go in the back. They want to rush up saying, "You can't come in here." So when we can't come in here, our job was to repel them. So we repelled them. And they was in. Somebody broke into the mosque. Well, really, we were meeting on 45th and Western then at a Mason Hall, but the upstairs is where we had our mosque meeting. And they stole the speakers. And so Brother Sabir put us together, and there was a house next door to the mosque. So he went in there, took one brother out, beat him good, and that brother started telling us where everything was. Where the speakers was, stuff that was stolen last month. He was telling us everything. Yes, sir. Matter of fact, that's what we was known for. We were known for that. And sometimes I wish to relive that, because a couple of things we could have diffused without fighting. I think.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
But it was exciting.
Yes, sir. Did you ever fear for your life?
No.
No, sir.
I felt that what we were doing was right, and Allah was going to protect us. After we fought the police and came out there alive, there wasn't too much we feared about nothing. On January the 11th, we had to fight January 3rd. On January the 11th, Brother Oliver X. Beasley was killed by the police. And we were all in the house on Cimarron in Venice. And the phone rang. I answered the phone, and Brother Wali told me our instructor was to stay in the house. I gave the phone to Malik. I said, "Man, I can't be talking to us about staying in the house." So Brother Malik came back and said, "Yeah, that's our instruction, to stay in the house." Now, if you was watching news, we saw that Brother Oliver got killed on, I believe, 106 or 100 something in Vermont. And Brother Wali didn't want us to go because he knew if we went out there, he knew what we do. After we did, we were geared to do that kind of fighting. You know, that's what we was going to do. If we didn't went out there, not understood for a Muslim being killed in the street, being drugged around. And the brothers do is, I mean, nobody, like I said, after that fight with the police, nobody was scared of fighting nobody. We all came out alive.
Yes, sir. Then what was it? I spoke with you previously, and you said you had a relationship with the former editor of the Final Call newspaper, Brother Abdul Wali. What was y'all's relationship like?
Our relationship was, I think I met Brother Wali through Brother Wazir, the minister of when we had went there for Savior's Day. We went a couple of days in advance, and he had introduced me to Brother Wali, and he took a liking to me, and I liked him. So he would always ask me to do certain security things that he wanted done in the mosque. He understood, I guess they understood training that came out of Los Angeles pretty good, 88. And so he asked me he assigned me to the press. He told me that I was to escort the press around. That's when we was under the tent, and we had just repurchased Mosque Mariam. And he told me that they could film anything they wanted, but they could not film our check procedure. And if they filmed our check procedure, I was instructed to take the camera and dash it to the street. Dash it to the street. So I went back and reiterated what he told me. And y'all can film anything you want. If you check that check procedure, I'm gonna take your camera and dash it to the street. And he looked at me like I was crazy, but they never checked it. Because if you ever checked that Savior's Day, we was doing our check procedure on Stony Island. All went from 74th Street, 74th up to 73rd was the check procedure. The brothers was on one half and the sisters was on the other half, and that's what they had. These like tent like things you walk over, you couldn't see nothing inside that was being checked. They were long. So he said if they checked the procedure, we did that. As we stood there, we watched them put the Star and Crescent on Mosque Mariam. I allowed them to video that. I allowed them to video everything Brother Wally told me. So as that came to a climax, he had asked me if I would come to the Final Call building. He gave me a tour of the Final Call building and stuff. I mean, it was really, really good experience. He was a serious, stern brother, but I mean, people out here say he was mean or hard. I thought he was just fair, you know? I thought he was just fair. I mean, after being under Brother Wali and Brother Malakadel, he couldn't get too much harder. You know? I thought he was very fair.
Yes, sir. What was your training like once you came to Chicago?
When I came to Chicago, I had already been a first officer under Brother Beer. When I first came to Chicago and I lived any period of time, Sister Shelby had asked the mother of my daughter, Sister Majine, to come to Chicago to teach at the university. This was 92. And so she asked me to drive her to Chicago and she would give me a plane ticket to fly back to LA. I agreed. I drove Sister Jean and Sister Dickler, who at that time was a year and a half old. Matter of fact, my daughter was, and I don't know if she still is, she was the youngest child ever to be a student in the University of Islam. She was a year and a half. Right? Because Ayana was about 6 months older than her. Ayana. They were like tighter than tight. And Sister Shelby gave me that ticket. I could leave when I wanted to. And that was during the time, I believe, the 76 Savior's Day, November, was done by hookup. They were doing a satellite hookup, and one year we didn't get the satellite hookup in Los Angeles, so we missed the whole Savior's Day. So I figured, well, since I'm in Chicago, I might as well stay here. Maybe about 2 months to go before Savior's Day. I said I might as well stay here, and I met Brother William, who is now the minister in Milwaukee.
Yes, sir.
He was the mosque captain at that time. And so he had heard our reputation of us in Los Angeles and stuff like that. So he had made me his special assistant. And his staff, I look to the day, that might be one of the best lieutenant staffs I've ever seen. That was with Tyrone 4X and Robert 22 and Brother Elliott and Brother damn, he got a holy name. He was on the 18 out of Indianapolis, came to Chicago. I forgot that team was exceptional. And Tyrone Forks had just married Sister Beverly, and he lived on 72nd place. And he had told me I could stay at his place as long as I wanted to because he was staying with Sister Beverly. So I stayed there about 4 months in Chicago. I loved it. There was always something going on, always detail doing this, always doing that. And 72 Saviors Day, we did that. Brother William was a real good brother. And I witnessed your father. Your father was a serious man. He had told me to call all the brothers on the list and let them know the instructions for Saviors Day. And he told me the instruction was for everybody to turn their answer machines off. And they didn't have the answer machines they had now. Now we had machines by themselves that you could turn off and turn on. And he had asked me to mark down as I called each brother if I talked to them, if the machine was on or whatever. So after Saviors Day, Brother Supreme Captain Abdul Sharif Muhammad, he stood up and asked all the brothers to please stand up that didn't come to Saviors Day. So the brothers stood up, but there wasn't that many. But one of the brothers that stood up, Brother Sharif had asked me, did you call this brother? This brother tried to say he didn't get a phone call, but I said, yes, sir, I did call him, sir. So as I had the sheet of all the names, but I would write down on the sheet when I talked to somebody, it was the answer machine or whatever happened during the phone call. So he asked me to go back to the mosque. I left the university, went over to the mosque and got the paper that was in Brother Williams' office. I brought that back over, the brother's name was on there, and I wrote on there where the brother didn't answer the machine. I mean, he didn't answer the phone, and it was an answer machine on the phone, which was a direct violation of what your father had told them not to do. So he asked the brother to stand up, the brother stood back up. And so he looked at the brother and he asked the brother why he didn't come. He said because the brother said he was working at the university. And your father said, oh, I remember you. He said, you the brother that worked. And then he stopped for a minute. He said, you the brother that used to work at the university. You fired. He fired. Because he was a blatant, he blatantly disrespected his instruction and then tried to lie about it. You know? Mm-hmm. And that was Saviors Day Part 2. That showed me how much Allah is guiding Mr. Farrakhan. And 92 Saviors Day, we were doing Part 2. And before he did Part 2, he went to Evanston's. I think it was Second Baptist Church in Evanston. And he spoke 2 lectures. He spoke a lecture at 8 o'clock and he spoke a lecture at 11 o'clock. This was at in Evanston. Then he came back from Evanston to the mosque and did Saviors Day Part 2. Mm-hmm. Me and Brother William, who was driving together, Captain William at the time, we was there at 5 o'clock in the morning, setting up the check post and preparing stuff for the election stuff. And as we was coming back, this is the truth, me and Brother William fell asleep coming around the lake. And when we woke up, we was in Mafia parking lot. Yeah. We had both fell asleep. Everybody, how do we get there? We still know the day. Wow, God. And when we walked into Mafia, Brother Elliot and them looked at us and they saw we was just, I don't know how to minister. He looked so jubilant and full energy, and me and Will was completely drained.
Yeah.
We was still, they told us go sit down. We went in the office for that time to sit down for that election. The minister was full of energy.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. What has been your greatest trial in your sojourn in the nation? And how did you overcome it?
My greatest, I still ain't overcome. My greatest sojourn, to be honest, was finding a real mate to share this with. I'll be honest. I still ain't overcome that. You know, I looked at I came in with the desire to want to do. You know, I never questioned. I never came from a questioning background anyway, but we were taught hear and obey. So it wasn't hard for me. Hear and obey. I mean, as I have conversation with your father on many occasions, especially when we was here at the restaurant, people always wonder why when your father would get on you and your father can get on people. Ask them to do something, you always give an excuse of why you didn't do so? So they going through all these excuses. So he asked me why I didn't do something. I would tell him no excuse. I ain't got no excuse. And he would always pass me by. And he was always wondering why. Why? So I told him the truth. I ain't got no excuse. I'm not lying up here trying to make up something that I did. And he already know. He already know I ain't do it. You know, it ain't like he didn't know.
Yes, sir.
He already knew.
Yes,
so,
sir.
And you trying to fool this man. Can't fool him. You know, I'll just be honest. That was my hardest trial.
Yeah, so what's been your greatest joy?
My greatest joy in the nation? Oh, I'm 68 years old, bro.
Praise be to
I
Allah.
was to be 25 years old, bro. No, I've seen Mr. Farrakhan come from the point of where we thought he was just a real good speaker to now see him as the Christ that we've been looking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Joy in itself. Have the time to be in his presence, to meet some of the people I met, like Brother Wali. I would never met Brother Wali if I ain't doing this, huh? And me and him have a good rapport today. One of my friends, and I call my friends, is Benny Mo. People say they don't like Benny Mo. I love Benny Mo.
Yes, sir. I love Brother Benny as well. Yes, sir.
Yeah. People that you meet, Brother Sabir and Brother Wazir and Brother Abdullah and Brother anybody in the nation that was of prominence, I have a pretty good rapport with. I just had a long talk with Brother Whitey today. So I call Brother Akbar. But I mean, there's just so much. These are people that are known, well known. And we have an opportunity to milk them of what they have. That's a joy within itself. To be able to see people, I don't know. My greatest joy might be to see Brother Nuri on the roster. It's a joy. That's a joy.
Why is that such a joy?
Because when Nuri came in, he was David 2X. And when I first met him, Brother Nuri's name was originally Mubarak. David Mubarak. And I told him, well, you don't need to get an X. You know, because you already had a holy name, Mubarak. And he told me, no, he wanted Mr. Farrakhan to give him a name. And that told me left, right, left. And he had told me that no, he wanted Mr. Farrakhan to give him a name. And so we had this FY house where his mother gave him a house. But instead he came and lived in the FY house with us. And we stayed together about 3 years. And he was my only competition in selling papers. Because to be honest, Brother Malik told us, if you want to be in front of the men, you got to be in front of the men. If you ask a man to get 100 papers, you got to be getting 150.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And by Allah's grace, at that time, when I was captain of Indianapolis, I was averaging 700 papers an issue. The first region that would beat me at that time was Brother Khalil in Chicago. And you know, Khalil was doing that 1,000 every issue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he would call me every week and joke with me. He would ask me, how many papers you did this week, Robert?
Yeah.
I would give him the same answer every week. I ain't just 1,000 yet, bro. And we would laugh, joke.
May Allah be pleased, man. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Well, I want to thank you all. Brother Elijah says, Allahu Akbar. Brother Daniel says, Assalamu alaikum, salam, sir. I want to thank everyone for watching this episode of Off the Record with Brother Abdul Rabb Muhammad. Brother Abdul Rabb, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Thank
Yes, sir.
May Allah bless you, sir.
May Allah bless me and your family, son. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Well, Islam.